We have some more breaking news that's coming in. Donald Trump has reiterated US aid stand for third day in a row. Donald Trump has said that $21 million that went to India for voter turnout, they went to a firm in Bangladesh as well. So Donald Trump has reiterated his US aid stand for the third day in a row. He has said that $21 million went to India for voter turnout. He's also claimed that $21 million went to a firm in Bangladesh as well. We have Neerja Deshpande, conservative commentator, who's joining us from Boston on the broadcast. Neerja, now that the MEA has responded to Donald Trump's remarks, do you think the center will launch a probe in the US meddling claims?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
So, Neerja, I'm asking now that the Ministry of External Affairs has responded to Donald Trump's remarks. Do you think the center will be launching a probe in the US meddling claims?
Well, I can't speak to the Indian situation going on. I'm actually not fully sure what Indian domestic response will look like. But I can tell you that from the American end, what's basically happening, is that it's just that America has sent lots and lots of foreign aid to all sorts of countries, including India, right? So he's putting out the $21 million for voter turnout. When he keeps saying that, what he's saying is that that money is going for voter turnout in a different country, right? In a different democracy. And it's not even going in our own democracy, right? So what ends up happening is that American taxpayer dollars, right, our money, is being spent on other people's democratic systems. And, other people's democratic systems are great. America supports democracies around the world. But the point is that that money should be staying with us. Right. And it's not about, it going to one political party or another. It's just about the fact that that money has been unaccountable and gone all over the place around the world, including India.
Right. Neerja, Donald Trump has also called it a kickback scheme, the funding that's been sent to India and Bangladesh. What do you think is the reason behind that?
Well, I think he's just pointing out that it's completely unaccountable, right? That there's no sort of American taxpayers don't know what's happening with it, and there's no accountability. That's the main thing. That I think what he really means is that when it's our tax money, right, when it is the hard-earned dollars of normal American people, it shouldn't be going to foreign countries without us knowing where it's going, right? There are programs where we do actually know where that money goes, and that money is effective. And then there are other programs like voter turnout in India where it just doesn't even make sense for America to be funding it, especially since India is such a, it's a country in the rise these days, right? It's not falling apart. It's a great country. It's a developing country. It's a rising country. It's a rising power. And I think constant American interference in that, by way of money, that's soft power, right? But that's not even something a country like India wants, right? That's a huge problem. And what he's really just saying is that you can't constantly just have this money that's from American taxpayers going to random causes, right? That we don't even know what they are.
Right, Neerja, there are several reports that say that the USAID funds that were there, that are in question, were actually intended for Bangladesh and not India. So do you think Donald Trump and Elon Musk will be, presenting us with any evidence behind the claims that they're making that $21 million was sent to India to influence the voter turnout?
Well, I don't think it's like they're not blaming India, right? Like they're not blaming Modi. They're not blaming anybody. I think they're just saying that actually what they're blaming is an unaccountable American system, right? They're actually not really speaking about India or Bangladesh per se. So whether it went to India or Bangladesh or, any country for that matter, right? It could have gone anywhere. It could have gone to some country in Africa. It could have gone to some country in South America, anywhere, right? The point is that the objection isn't about India specifically, and it's not about Bangladesh specifically. It's not about where it went. It's about the fact that, we have our own voting systems, right? And our own voting systems are often in need of repair. And the problem is our own tax dollars aren't going to repair those systems all too often. So he's pointing out that that money is going to other people's systems, to other people's democracies, to other people's voting systems, whatever it is, elections. And what we actually wind up with is a system in which Americans don't get to decide where that money is going, and they don't even get to understand where that money is going. So to your other question about whether or not, Donald Trump and Elon Musk will be providing evidence, I mean, I think there's just so much going on right now. They're posting it all over the place. If you're on Twitter or X, right, there's lots of that evidence is being posted on those websites, on Twitter, on X. So you'll actually be able to find a lot of these sources on that, or on the WhiteHouse.gov website. Or whatever the Doge website is. I actually, one of the .gov websites. But the point is basically that USAID is unaccountable, and that's not blaming India, right? That's not blaming Bangladesh for that matter. That's blaming American unaccountable systems that have just been bureaucracies accountable to no one for far too long.
Right. Thank you for taking out the time and speaking with India Today, Neerja. That is the latest that we're getting from the United States. Donald Trump has reiterated the USAID stand for the third day in a row, saying that $21 million went to India for voter turnout, as well as to a firm in Bangladesh.